across the country. Flow. Across the country, I finished the show and I got me. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, they was not on that. I was on that. My team wasn't. No cap.
I just caught up on a Young Dolph trial that's currently going on. So the actual shooters and killers of Young Dolph, they already went to trial. They was found guilty. Now the mastermind, Hernandez Govain, who's the connection between CMG and the killers, he's currently on trial. Now, during this trial, we see not only does the prosecution point into CMG and Yo Gotti's big brother, Big Jook, being the one who paid for the hit, but you also see the defense is pointing a finger at Big Jook, CMG,
Let's go.
Yo Gotti by name. In the opening statement, the prosecution laid out that Young Dolph was murdered because of the ongoing feud with Yo Gotti. Then we even give the history of Young Dolph and CMG's beef, which would also play out later on in this trial when it was brought back by the defense. And they was asking, hold on, bro. If y'all know that Yo Gotti and Big Jook is behind Young Dolph's death, then how come my client, who was the quote unquote middleman, why is he at trial and Yo Gotti and Big Jook not at trial? Coordinated his own way to the industry. And he created a list called PRE, Figure Out Insight. Talking to tell us about it. He'll tell us that Adolf Martin made his way in the music industry and created opportunities for other artists. When we create opportunities for others, some people don't keep it. So Hawkins will talk about another list, CMG, also known as cocaine music. He'll tell us about the history and the tension between the two. He'll tell us that CMG wanted Thornton as their own. But when he decided to pay his own, when he decided
They be wilding like.
he became CMG's
We keeping up with the Jones is a little bit too much. Pentagon report spills shocking USOs. No way, man. First UFOs aren't real and we're nuts for believing in them. Now they're real. And we must believe in them because they are here. Y'all cold-blooded. They were shaming people for like 100 years for believing in aliens. And now they like, yeah. He's cracked. Like, come on. The hypocrisy. That's. What's up with your baby boy?
Based on your knowledge,
When y'all booming.
years of their time. Yes, sir. I'm actually convinced of that. That's one of my colleagues. The reason why I don't make questions is one of my questions from the beginning was the bridge in Tennessee. The so-called weather review that
Kind of team and how it's this shit they
such as facility.
job for real.
So the question is,
Job for real.
do you believe they've caused an irregular activity in why?
Like, bro, right there, I kind of watch so he could heal. He don't heal, so I start healing, and then he start healing like 5 seconds later. Like, come on, bro. He could have been up. And then the other homie see the homie down, and he not even showing no urgency. He chilling.
Why?
Like,
a lot of innovation.
All right,
out of
Marvel Rivals player.
A lot of, if you will, disruptive technologies that we use for our national defense is originates out of innovations and advanced concepts in physics as well. So
I'm not gonna lie, I need a couple.
even from a foreign adversary, that's a great target to start with.
Sure. And again, this is one of my talking points. I do have questions.
Hey, wow.
Energy subsidiaries or affiliates have in this type of technology. for possession of this type of technology, whether it's ours or others. Mr. Day, I think your testimony has been pretty clear, but would you please reiterate that you believe UAPs was a threat to pilots? Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. They were threatening Navy pilots during the exercise that I was, my people were involved with in 2015. And it's my understanding.
Symbol of peace.
Pilot safety from commercial and military.
No, you see it.
Well, considering, and I understand that there's a need,
None, see?
in some cases to keep certain technologies
Ah,
secret,
shit, none.
but you believe that it is posing a threat to our personnel.
They got a nuncy right there in your face, bro. Like, all praise be to
There's a
him.
threat to our
And
personnel
her.
who are serving our country faithfully. That they're
We
being
don't sign deal.
100%, Congressman. And in fact, that's the one thing that we've not talked about. The fact that the government executive branch not sharing with Congress infringes on your legislative and oversight responsibilities to such an extent that's very concerning. I mean, what else are we? If you look at the security, the intelligence, the foreign affairs, the appropriations, we all have oversight and legislative responsibilities regarding those. This UAP is going to be as late as the time being picked
well,
Yeah, I get on it.
if we have certain adversaries like China, like
My
Russia,
bad, I'm expecting UFO.
technology are not as advanced as others.
Now they want gamers arrested. Oh, yeah. For throwing matches in Marvel Rivals. 25 to life. Golly, what? That would be so crazy, but yeah, I'm definitely never using game chat again. If they start arresting people for like inappropriate like comments and like the way people talk online, yeah, that's crazy. A lot of little kids on this too. If they be wild. God. Shukaku breaks in tears as an object entered our solar system. Oh my God. New York drill rapper, Bagno. Yeah, this shit is nuts. Joe Rogan, Spotify, the Gramster. Hey, it's, they got burners over here, family. Scoot. This man, the enemy goes. Oh, I got one. Bro, y'all not ready? Oh, that's a bot for sure, the way he moving. Bot that out of this. I got y'all, let me. Bro, yo, oh, shit, see about that. I'm gonna leave this chest here for you guys. Bro, did you fall off? Or did you get killed? Oh, yeah, you got killed for sure. Get it popping. Yeah. Are you ready? If you ready, I'm ready. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, get him. Funnel K, he's stupid. This a kill bot, boy. I got one coming up behind me. I ain't been playing in a while. My aim off. I got one more coming. Oh no! two teams, or did they flame? Nah, it's two teams. GG, buckos. See y'all in the next one. Got some pizza coming. The babe Baruski. Oh, that looks better. Oh. Guys. The frost giants and a fire giant mixing. That shit is supposed to have been forbidden, right? A frost giant mating with a fire giant. They used to be at war. But that's kind of the same as Loki. Like Loki, really a frost giant. What if Loki would have like had a kid with like a real Asgardian? Then it would have been an Asgardian frost giant. He would have knew magic. Would have had more power because he was a frost giant. And then would have had some other kind of power, more immortality because the Asgardian. Oh shit. I see you, little mama. Throw that thing. Okay, I see you, Death Lord of the Nebula. Yeah. Hit that jump. Orochimaru son. Okay, I see y'all hitting that E-Walk. G-Walk. Yo, I won 2 matches ago, but I wiped 2 matches in a row. I'm trying to get that white ranger and the green ranger. No problem. I'm not playing around, man. I'm trying to get the white ranger and the green ranger. Okay? You're green ranger too, my friend. Okay. I'm on it. Right here with you back out. I got 2 on my 6. I got a squad. Fear not, citizens. Captain Saber 304 in the bitch. Alright, we got a whole squad here, maybe even more. Damn, a Black Ranger home with a shotty too hard. Damn, let me see what y'all are doing. Let me see what y'all on.
She likens it to a case of malnutrition and then tells her to get some food and, sleep well. She should be fine. I will say that this is a bit interesting because it does poke some holes into the theory of Sasuke coming back with his Renegon and a new hand. Because based on what Sakura is saying here, it seems like the tree just took from her, didn't give her anything. Her chakra is sluggish, which means she didn't get any chakra boost from being inside that tree. She's also very fatigued and tired, and Sakura didn't notice any changes to her cells or genetic makeup. So at the very least, we can rule out Sasuke getting a power-up from being inside the tree, and also from receiving the Thorn Soul Ball, because it didn't happen for Moegi. But I do think it's very possible that Sasuke regains his Renegon and left hand, because Moegi didn't have any missing body parts for the tree to heal. So even though it just takes from the body, maybe it would have still healed the body if it needed to be healed. Then Sasuke, of course, is in dire need of that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. With that said, that's when we get into the fandom wars, because Sarda then walks into the room and Sumire looks at Sarda. Sarda then looks away. Then she looks at her again and says, "Hey, gotta move. Let's talk." They then go back to the same location. Sarda hugged Boruto in front of Sumire because Sarda is trying to assert dominance. I'm just kidding, by the way. But yeah, they go back to this location and they begin to discuss the Boruto situation. So Sumire is like, hey, good work on your mission. And Sarda says, yeah, that's what I do. That's just me. She then calls Sumire by her name for the very first time, which of course shocks Sumire, and proceeds to ask her if it's okay to follow that. And this is of course referencing what happened in chapter 16 when Sumire asked her how long is she going to be past rep. Sarda also apologizes and says, she was kind of insensitive about a lot of things, and back then she was just shocked and couldn't even find the words to say. Everything you said to me was just so true. I was being cowardly about your feelings and about my own lack of ability. I kept turning my eyes away from the reality right in front of me. She then proceeds to reference a question Sumire asked over 200 years ago, which is that if she cares about Boruto. Which, if I remember correctly, the question was if she cares if other girls are interested in Boruto, and Sumire said that he did care. But I could be wrong, I guess I'll just...
I see.
Yeah, Sumire goes on to say that was her honest feeling at that time anyway, even though which one this time. Anyway, she then says that she never even thought about it, and never thought about Boruto like that, which of course is in a romantic manner. But at some point, I realized that I was spending more and more time thinking about him. He's always dealing with some kind of problem, so it seems really tough, right? As a teammate in the same squad, I can't help but worry about him. After a while, I started to not really understand my own feelings. I wondered if I was just caring about him as a teammate, or if it was something more. And the fact that my thoughts were drifting that way made me feel like I was really a bad person. I wondered, is it really okay for someone like me to
reduce stamina consumption?
Then she starts to remember Yodo, that character that died, that no one remembers. But yeah, she remembers her saying, "You completely misunderstood. You're probably unconsciously deceiving yourself." And she starts to ponder. She puts it together. She then says, "But I've already stopped doing that kind of thing." She then smiles and says, "I like Boruto too." And of course, we have Ada watching him using the Senringan, and she's all, gushing over it because she loves this drama. But Sumire isn't shocked. Everyone saw this from a mile away, from, the 400 centuries ago. It was very obvious. And Sarada goes on to say that the desire to be of help to him is what makes her stronger. And she even feels like she could become a Kage. She's come to feel that way. She then asks the audience to ask Sumire if they're even. And Sumire says, "Thanks for the understanding. Now that it's come to this, I'm not going back to you, so the girls are going to throw down the Boruto." Or at least that's what Ikimoto wants you to think. Because we then get this panel of the two girls running off into the sunset, holding hands, and we have the title, "To Those Girls." And I said this in the spoiler, and it's a joke, but hey, maybe it happens. Maybe this ends like Korra and Asami haven't. And the fandoms will be in uproar, and that'll be the best day on Twitter, for me at least, because it'll be very
I see you.
And then skip over to Himawari in the Uzumaki residence, and she's simply training with Kurama in the mind scheme. Though she seems to be struggling a lot, and Kurama is very angry.
Oh shit, somebody get him his glasses.
Get it. Listen.
Where your glasses at, brother? Sister.
Everything is possible.
What's going on over here?
Morgan says that she gets that much because, it's unusual too. And Kurama says, "No, you don't understand anything. You don't understand anything at all. After all, you're not just an artist. You're someone who carries what you are is what they call a Jinchuriki. And even though you're human, you're more like someone who is doing Listen, this isn't about what you are. The point is about the combat techniques you should use. This is nothing more than a lesson in that. So throw away common sense. Think of yourself as the embodiment of chakra itself. Everything starts from there. Now Kimura then says, even if you say that none of it sinks in, and Kurma then sighs and says, I'm tired, that's enough for today. Timor then starts to shout Kurma's name in the real dimension, and we see that Bolt is outside the window watching all of this happening, and he starts to smile. He then closed his eyes, or eye for that matter, and everything fades to black. When he opens it, he's in a different dimension, sitting on what appears to be a destroyed divine tree. He then looks up, and there he is, Momoshiki Otsutsuki, staring off into the distance. Momoshiki then says, what's gotten into you? Coming to make contact with me on your own. Boruto then says, you're still sulking, as usual, huh? Momoshiki then replied, saying, because
That boy Momoshiki gave
living
up.
on carefree
Ooh,
after a
fast,
year
boy.
not the very
Yeah,
talking of
passed out. He ain't really like that, fool.
Anywhere nearly killed by
That's what happened. That's why you matched up with Boruto. You was a spoiled little brat too.
and I can no longer
That's why y'all linked up.
my story.
He matured,
With no
but you ain't
with
matured
your
yet.
death breaks free from
Goof
this
ass.
curse. The only way is to disappear. Boruto then says, I need to ask you something. I need you to lend me your strength this once. She then says, "Don't just disappear." Boruto replied, saying, well, listen, of course I'm not saying it'll be for free. If you can defeat Jura, then at that time I will give you this entire body. And Momoshiki, of course, looks very interested in this proposition. Then in the last picked up chapter with Sarada and Sumori walking in the village, and Sumori says, but Lord himself probably doesn't even realize how we feel. And Sarada says, not just probably, he has absolutely no idea what's happening, or it doesn't notice. Well, that's actually one of the things that makes him so great. Now the side text then says, driven by submission, he stepped onto the path of an demon. What was Momoshiki's response to that proposal? Guess we'll see next time on Dragon Boat or whatever. Anyways, I do think Momoshiki's gonna say yes, but maybe he says no and then pops up during the fight with Jiro. Now this of course could play out in a few ways, because Momoshiki isn't a gentleman to my knowledge, so Boruto must know that he simply can't pinky promise Momoshiki to leave the planet after destroying Jura. He's going to want to take over the planet and get his revenge on the people who wronged him. So, if that is the case, one possibility is that Boruto knows that he can take over his body whenever he wants to, and he's always going to be watching to see what Momoshiki is doing. Whenever he's about to do something crazy, he's just going to take over again. Or maybe Boruto simply doesn't plan on fulfilling his end of the bargain anyway. So whenever Momoshiki destroys Jura, he's just going to take over right away. The problem with this is that it makes Momoshiki very incompetent, and he wasn't really that smart in the first place. So it simply can't be the case that Momoshiki gets tricked once again so easily that Boruto simply doesn't agree to him. Why would Momoshiki risk Boruto taking over when he's ready to just be used as a tool? Doesn't make sense. He should be smarter than this. So Boruto must also know that Momoshiki won't take this deal unless there's some way to guarantee that Boruto can't take over the body ever again. And if that's the case, that then brings us back to the start of this problem. How does Boruto guarantee that Momoshiki doesn't go on a murder spree? Well, the likely answer is that he can't guarantee that. So what he's hoping is that Kawaki is strong enough to get rid of Momoshiki once he hands over his body to him after the fight with Jura. Because he knows Kawaki won't allow Momoshiki to exist in that body, on that planet, or in that galaxy. Because he knows Naruto is going to be a constant threat of being annihilated by Momoshiki. But the problem with this is that if Boruto knows that Kawaki is strong enough to
I'm dumping that thing.
So if Momoshiki doesn't accept this proposal, he must have some secret plan to gain power to
oh shit, watch it. You got 2 on your 6, Jimmy. Shaka.
Now I do think it's possible that Kimura
that's using your dipstick, Jimmy.
Boruto did go to do this after confirming that Kimura
Fill up, quick.
Stronger. He smirked and then
I like the way y'all just ran up it.
So maybe he feels like Himori's power-up once she gets control Furl's power in this new Biju-like state. She might be able to help Kawaki to defeat Momoshiki. I guess we'll have to wait and see. with that said, this was a good chapter. If you guys enjoyed it and you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. Also, if you guys are enjoying the content, consider subscribing and becoming a member to support me making more videos just like this one. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Although Two Blue Vortex Chapter 25 has dropped a huge bombshell that has everyone tweaking, our MC has made a deal with the devil, receiving yet another death flag because Boruto speaks to Momoshiki for the first time in years, offering his life for power so he can kill Jura and save Naruto and Sasuke. What happened?
Be scared to go to the gas station and get a full tank.
Are multiple times stronger than it really is and gain control of the pure idol.
It's my cold. What's that? Corvette? Hello? It's what do you want? What do you want? I know you understand.
But it's not only that. Naruto's daughter, Himawari, received the most crazy revelation. She isn't even human.
I'm extremely confused.
They own me, man. They own me. I'm trying to keep them off me.
But when he got tired, Kurama took over to keep
Let him play
going.
a
That
breathe.
made Himawari's nature completely different from normal.
I'm retired.
I'm confused right now, G.
Okay, I'm kidding.
You're ruining me.
Basically,
You're
Kurama
ruining
is
me.
training Naruto's daughter and tells her to think like a Jinchuriki. She ain't no ordinary human anymore with their superpower. But then, the biggest revelation of all that we waited years for, Sarada's confession of love has
Oh, hell no. Leave me alone.
if she's
I
competing
don't know
for
old
both
rock,
with other girls. And she wants to do everything she can to
Let
protect them
everybody
so
in the
they can
body of
eventually
the
marry.
past
So with all of
say,
that out of the way, let's cue the intro.
They be wildin', like they be feeling like they just the baddest when the gang members want them, but then they get a little. Now they
Two Blue Vortex
just like spoiled milk and shit. Now they want to. Oh
being
my god!
implanted back
I like the
into
nice
as she returns.
Yeah,
And
now you do after 7 years later.
Affection, as
6
Himawari
baby
was
daddies in jail.
Remember that
One of them want to
slowly
kill you
revealed the
because you've been
deepest
playing
emotions
games.
and desire
Now you
of
want to
who
attach
she's come
yourself
from.
to
When
somebody
Konohama
with
realized that
different
although he
energy.
failed to bag Nabi, the man who's with that lots of you
Blow that
argue
down.
about, he fought
Oh,
Lemon
right.
and a lot of other girls. But the one that was with him since childhood was secretly in love with him the
I see you
entire
over there,
time.
Sativa.
But he didn't
Watch it.
confess. We all witnessed that
Oh.
Mitsuri wanted to
Yellow
smash,
Ranger up
getting
top.
all flustered and even
Black
jealous
Ranger up
that
top.
Konohama may have liked other women. She tried dropping the bomb on him, but my guy shut that down instantly, clearly keeping that kind of special intimacy for someone he loves. And since Boruto has been leaning heavy into that theme, Ikemoto throws us a full circle moment. Moegi, upon awakening, pulls in Konohamaru-chan, but this time he lets it slide, basically confirming he's accepted those feelings.
Get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. Get in the car, get in the car. I'm body blocking.
About to be a Boruto then watches on from above, knowing that his actions against Jura resulted in the timelines being changed wasn't in vain. It actually was positive. At least his sensei and many others got a happy ending. For example, Shinki has returned back to normal, and Gaara is safe thanks to his efforts. We then learn the status of Muegi. There is no deterioration in bones or muscle, with her organs being perfectly fine. This is especially good news because
hold on, I got a lot of things to get off these
which means when he's free, he won't have.
Hey, we got out of there. What the? That shit was crazy.
Where your muscles waste away.
Another whippersnapper. Let me grab that one. Let me grab that one. Let me grab that one.
Coming back with the ball, he's basically been on pause instead. The moment he's back, he's ready to dance. Cheeks like nothing happened.
I don't know how we move it.
The best doctor in the world.
I don't know how aggressive y'all are. Y'all like this running through trying to wipe everybody, like sitting back and being the last team. I'm with it. I'm with whatever. We got Wheels over here and Amigos. We got dude up there with the geezer thing.
Slicing through the air with peak seconds. Embarrassment. Sumire compliments others' newfound power with a manga control. It's a good job down here, but the three can barely get a sentence out since their last chat was basically an argument. Back into Blue Vortex, the girl being kicked off over one thing. Sumire still hasn't gotten over the fact that in chapter 5, Sarada went full shoujo manga and hugged him the moment they reunited, sharing a moment that she wanted with him. So when the topic came up, Sumire straight up called Sarada out, basically stating she was dumping all her expectations on Boruto and weighing him down, that they should think about what he's going through as well. Sarada wasn't having it though. The claws came out and a love triangle was back then. Sumire made it clear she wasn't just more, and that she had her own teachings for supporting a man, rooted in loyalty, understanding, and attention because he was still
everything.
In which Sumire states, Sumire quit being a ninja a long time ago to join the science division, but even in 2 new voices, 6 voices a card as well. Being in the to be perceived in that manner.
My bad, squad. Damn, I'm so ass.
Sumire that he can fall in love with, just like he was
fucking body girls, bro. That shit be getting on my nerves. Treat girls with so much respect. They just like they just want to be trash. Like only men they see is like gang members, bro. If you're not no fucking gang member, they do not see. Like when they 40 and 50, that's when they like, oh my god, those guys are trouble. I want a real man. Like bitch, when you're 50, you 50.
Conversation in real time.
And now you got all. Now you think you deserve it. No, you deserve exactly what you was choosing all this time.
Brushed up on her, and Sumire states that it's okay.
That shit be getting on my nerves.
Into a self-realization.
Y'all ruining the whole world with that shit.
Cowardly about love and her power.
Now that shit is a culture.
She ignored Sumire's
thugs and rich dudes
because she was afraid to accept reality. But over time, with Boruto becoming the enemy of the world, shouldering all the pain and burdens of being a rogue shinobi, Sarada started to think of him more and more. At first, She was confused, thinking that it was to do with being in the same team, tearing out a comrade and all. But then Sarada realized it was something more. Now, the manga cooked here because Sarada's story is just a parallel of her father Sasuke. It's following the same story beats he had with Naruto. Sasuke spent years misreading the pull he felt towards Naruto as pure rivalry and resentment. He called it cutting bonds to erase the pain. But every arc kept proving the opposite. The hatred was really attachment and love. In their final value of the N5, lying there with no chakra and no arms to throw, Sasuke finally says the quiet part out loud. Naruto is his closest friend and brother. He recognized those feelings that he's hurt when his friend Naruto is hurt. When he's emotionally in pain, then he is in pain too. So Sasuke apologized at that time, choosing to live with it instead of fighting those feelings that he recognizes Naruto as a bro. Now similarly, his daughter Sarada thought, if I love Boruto, then I must be a bad person. How can it be okay for someone that wants to be Hokage to have selfish feelings? I need to treat the entire village as family, showing equal importance to everyone instead of just one ninja named Boruto, right? Now, I know a lot of you are young watching this video and probably have not married, but let me break down what Sarada is trying to say. Essentially, Sarada believed that suppressing emotions was necessary to become Hokage. She considered her romantic feelings a weakness, focusing solely on her duties as she was trying to follow Naruto's ninja. So she tried to grow some Boruto, but because our MC has so much aura, this was an impossible task. Eventually, Ada's omnipotence came into play. Everything turned upside down with the world's memories being changed, as the entire village wanted to kill the man she loved. Sarada could not accept such a reality, which then activated her magical Sharingan for the first time. Sasuke informed us that her Manga Claw will have a great source of power, and with the instincts of an Uchiha, it will come naturally to her, as the Sharingan is the reflection of the heart. As a result, Sarada now chooses to embrace her love, acknowledging that her feelings are a source of strength rather than a hindrance. Now, in chapter 25, Ada is just like us, watching this shit go down like it's some amazing TV show getting us.
Oh, they wild. That boy Zordon.
She loves Boruto. Now this is practically the story that Kishimoto and Ikimoto has talked about. Because now Sarada's ideology is the opposite of the main villain. Because unlike Jura, who believes love is a weakness to humanity, that causes all the wars, suffering, and pain in the world, Sarada's ideals follow the
Bro, they ain't never seen that. Black Ranger, the cake, they gonna be like, oh, he must be elite.
It basically mirrors Naruto's own journey where it's about the power of bonds over suppression of it. However, Sumire, she's like, I already knew that shit years ago. It was that obvious. She must have had the notification bell on for Anime Balls D because I've done 3 goddamn videos on this topic, so make sure to follow her footsteps by hitting the bell and smashing the like button. I am going to do a follow-up video explaining how Sarada broke the Uchiha curse with some magical shrines as she corrected all the wrongs and
What's up, bud? So we get on them. I ain't got nothing. I don't got nothing, man. I don't got nothing for you, my friend.
In celebration, I just wanted to mention our store, the deepvault.com. It's having a special offer right now. Just use the code FREE1 and you get a free poster at checkout. Be it anime, TV shows, or movies, we have you covered with our travel posters. Now is a good time to mention that we just dropped our Naruto Boruto bundle featuring the ninja villages at a massive discount for a limited time. We are constantly coming up with new designs, and these are all made in-house by our team to the best quality we can. So your support really does help out. Check it out in the free comment. Anyway, with the girls finally making up, things somehow get messier. Balls the prediction jutsu and as Ada is, and she is, yeah. Actually, can make any man suck her OnlyFans with only a glance, but there is only one person she wants now, either Boruto or Kiwaki for herself. But here's the twist that most people forget. Ada's whole arc isn't just about lust, it's about loneliness. She never had real friends, and that's why Sarada and Sumire matter, as they uniquely are unaffected by her omnipotence. So rewind to chapter 74, Ada literally invites the both
I'm
of them
detecting
over
high
to
threat
girls'
level.
talk to gossip about feelings and try
Being
being
your guard.
friends for once. It's the manga spelling out
Oh
that
shit, I see.
craves
You
more
got a job.
connections, not just worship. So when Sarada doesn't like the mood of first, the big love update, of course, Ada's jealousy neither spikes. She's been watching everything and wants to be part of the inner circle. That's why her reaction hits hard. As Damon is itching for a big fight and can take out any of them in an instant based on her orders. But meanwhile, Himawari is used to her intrusion. He's the strongest and goes 6 like history. With the strongest power able to support Naruto. That's
Where did you go? Where?
Me and Michael.
They're not getting mad at so they're like, man, fuck you.
He felt fast. Like I was like,
Damn, somebody else is coming like,
it's a training of
it's okay. I'm like, let's see.
when Naruto went to the Hokage power, he had to throw hands with a full-size Kurama in his own mind with the beast sitting and Kushina's Clementine tanks hitting the beast. Naruto then spammed Rasengan variants, ripping out Kurama's chakra and then resealed it. But Himawari gets to skip all of these steps and gets to use 100% power of Yin and Yang from the jump, which makes sense as Naruto's legacy left a lasting impact and Kurama sees Himawari as a friend or daughter per se. Kurama then teaches her that she's more akin to a Jinchuriki, explaining that she's more like a tail beast or Jura. Himawari then needs to harness this power as if she's the embodiment of chakra itself. And once she understands this concept, she would then be able to surpass Naruto's power. Now, because Himawari just isn't getting it, she's like, Kurama basically gives up. He says, nah, bruh, I can't be doing this shit all day. He goes to sleep. But in parallel, her brother is going to his inner plane to speak to Momoshiki. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. Yeah, after 3 years. The goat has returned and things are not looking good, bruv. Boruto has had 15 death flags ever since 2 Blue Vortex started, and he must be taking that into account. Kashi Koji keeps reminding him that every single future he sees, Juro will always end up killing him with the planet being destroyed. Billions of people dying. So in a desperate attempt to get multiple times stronger, even though he's the strongest ninja of all time already, with Sasuke admitting it, he still needs an even greater boost to defeat the Shinju leader. But on the other hand, Momoshiki is stalking that Boruto to survive the fight against Jura and many other times. Because he actually wants Boruto to be near death so that he can take over his body and mind forever. He's so bored and stuck in limbo, as his soul is anchored within this plane with nothing to do or escape. Momoshiki even laments that he decided to save Boruto when Kiwaki killed him in the first part of the story, which is a nuisance for him as the option to resurrect at 100% is now gone. So he's hit the bottom of despair just like Boruto, with no purpose stuck in this stupid prison. So as a result, our MC strikes a deal. He wants Momoshiki to lend his strength so that they can kill Juro, and in return, he can have Boruto's body. This would mean Boruto ceases to exist, and he don't even remember what he did or who he was. During chapter 15, for example, Boruto informed Kiwaki that it's been 2 years since he last used the Colosseum. This was a last resort to save Sasuke, trust it. But when he did, Boruto sensed that Momoshiki was about to possess him. His consciousness was being faded away, and Boruto was literally dying whilst aware of what was happening. So because of that, Boruto banned himself from using it. Even in this very conversation, Boruto told what he can kill him if Momoshiki takes his body again. As a result, in Boruto's point of view, once he makes the deal with Momoshiki to get multiple times stronger, he can then save the planet, and then Momoshiki can die by Waki. His goal is to kill every last Otsutsuki on the planet, where he would then unseal Naruto and other trees so they can live happily ever after. So, again, people, Ikemoto's book as many plot points are coming to closure, because in parallel to his goal with Waki, when Boruto first met him, remember, they didn't see eye to eye. Boruto didn't understand why Waki wanted to die and didn't value himself at all. But ironically, our MC has come to the same idea. Boruto is the boy that had everything and lost it all, whilst Waki, in contrast, is the boy that had nothing and gained everything and wants to protect it. So now, Boruto's thinking, wait a second, I'd rather sacrifice myself than see others get hurt. However, those of us that have watched the Boruto anime, we know that Naruto made a promise.
Teamwork is crazy.
Joking scene that we were almost at any time. When Boruto was 13 years old, after the Ishiki fight, and then he had the calm seal extracting in him, and his data was being replaced, he was about to die, there was nothing they could do, there was no technology, no plan, no nothing. But even then, Naruto promised his son that even if Momoshiki took over his body, he would save it. He's weaker without Kurama, and his reputation would be ruined as Hokage, but even then, Naruto would gain a new power for the sake of his child. He would do everything in the world to save him, as that is his ninja way. Boruto accepted this promise from his dad, and I believe this will play very big importance once Iwaki brings Naruto back. The chapter ends on Boruto choosing the demon's path, laser focused on fixing everything himself. But meanwhile, Sarada and Sumire are finally honest with each other. They both like Boruto, and he's so locked into his selfless ideals, being a good guy, he doesn't even notice that these two girls love him. But that's what makes him great. Now, to enjoy more peak fiction about Boruto, watch this video on your screen right now.
What would you do if the only way you could save your loved ones was to hand your body over to the very demon that's been waiting to extinguish your soul and take control of your body? That's the exact gamble that Boruto makes in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 25. Faced with the unstoppable Jura, this monster who shrugged off even Kawaki's best attacks using Ishiki's attack power, Boruto does something unthinkable. He approaches Momoshiki, the very Otsutsuki who's been trying to possess him since his childhood, and offers him control of his body in exchange for killing Jura. This is one of the most shocking moves that Boruto's ever made, not because he is weak, but because he is finally willing to risk everything, even his identity, if it means protecting his friends and the Shinobi world. But the real question is this: does Boruto truly plan to let Momoshiki take over, or is there a deeper trap at play? Today, we're going to be breaking down why Boruto may have a master plan in place of Momoshiki, how this deal does mirror Sukuna and Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, how Japanese folklore, in particular the legend of Momotaro the Peach Boy,
mystery interstellar object that was spotted by astronomers.
It's interstellar.
It's only the third time that we've actually detected an object that has come from beyond the solar system.
It all begins with a quiet and intense moment of revelation. Renowned theoretical physicist Nicholas Tesla stood before a global audience and unveiled a project that would send ripples
imagining a new object previously unknown and entirely unexpected had entered our solar system. Not a comet or asteroid behaving within the normal limits of celestial mechanics, but something entirely different. The announcement marked a pivotal chapter in the ongoing exploration of the cosmos, raising fundamental questions about the nature of interstellar travel, cosmic anomalies, and the very fabric of our understanding of space. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The object had first been detected by an array of deep space telescopes, particularly one stationed in a high Earth orbit, whose instruments captured a peculiar reading in the Kuiper Belt region. At first, the signal was dismissed as noise, an anomaly caused by sensor interference or background radiation. But as more data accumulated and was cross-referenced with international observatories, the existence of a tangible physical entity became irrefutable. What made this discovery so astounding wasn't merely its trajectory or composition, but its behavior. Unlike traditional celestial bodies, which typically follow predictable orbital patterns under the influence of gravity, this object displayed movements inconsistent with known gravitational influences. It slowed down at times, accelerated at others, and even changed direction ever so slightly. Subtle deviations that no naturally occurring object could plausibly exhibit on its own. The scientific community, already alert from previous interstellar visits like Oumuamua, quickly redirected their resources toward tracking and analyzing the newcomer. However, this wasn't just another elongated rock tumbling through space. This object emitted a faint but consistent electromagnetic signature, a pattern that deviated from the random emissions typical of cosmic debris. It pulsed, almost rhythmically, suggesting internal activity or even an artificial structure. Its albedo, the measure of reflectivity, also baffled scientists. It absorbed an unusual amount of solar radiation while emitting infrared signals in precise bursts, akin to modulated data packets. Such strongly hinted at technological sophistication, prompting deeper questions about its origin. What makes this discovery so electrifying is not merely the physical nature of the object, but the way it challenges conventional boundaries in astrophysics. For decades, the prevailing assumption has been that any object entering the solar system must be driven purely by the laws of motion and gravity. But here was something, or perhaps some construct,